In this video, we are going to focus on ionic compounds. So if you remember, compounds were molecules that included multiple different types of atoms. So ionic compounds, well, they are same idea. They include multiple types of atoms, but those atoms are ions. And an ion is a charged atom or molecule. So things we think of that we've seen so far as ions: Na plus, Cl minus, H plus, Mg2 plus, F minus, S2 minus. All of these are ions. Here's an element that has a charge instead of being neutral. There are two types, general classes of ions. There are the plus charged ions. These are known as cations. Not cations, they are cations. If you have a minus charge, you are an anion. And so it doesn't matter how many charges you have, or how many atoms are in your molecule, or if you're a lone atom. If you are positively charged, you are a cation. If you are negatively charged, you are an anion. So let's take a minute. Let's say cations are green. What are all the cations? Take a second, pause this, and find all the cations. Alright, if you're back, well, I've got my sodium, it's a cation, I got my hydrogen, and I've got my magnesium. If I wanted to do the anions, we'll say they'll be yellow. They're going to be the other ones. I've got my chloride, my fluoride, and my sulfide. And so depending on what your charge is, you'll be called one of these different terms. When we want to make what we call an ionic compound, well, ions have charges and opposite charges attract. If you want sodium to have anything else around, well, sodium is a plus charge. It needs a minus charge to be near it. A common one we run into is chloride. Sodium chloride, written as NaCl when we draw a formula. So the molecular formula does not have the charges written in. We will just write the element symbols. Sodium chloride is table salt. This is one of the most common ionic compounds you'll probably run into in any given day. Well, we always write the cation first. So when you name them, we call this sodium chloride, and we'll discuss where the chloride and things come from, but we always write the cation first and the anion second. This is also true in the formula. The cation always comes first, the anion always comes second. In fact, that's how you can identify that you have an ionic compound. Remember carbon and boron? When we were talking about the periodic table, we said we didn't really consider them having a charge. There are neutral compounds as well, where the atoms don't have charges. Those are called organic or covalent bonds. Those aren't what we're talking about right now. We are talking about rock-type materials, things that make crystals, glass and stone and concrete and table salt. So whenever you see something that we will identify as a cation at the front of a symbol or the front of a name, this is an immediate hint that you are talking about an ionic